Okay, we are about to finish this reading for this practice chart we've been doing. Okay, so now we're going to do kind of just this summarization of everything we've talked about and talk about some of the other planets we have not talked about into this cohesive whole of what is this chart, why is this chart, why would the soul have chosen this chart? What is the soul trying to accomplish through this chart? Alright, starting timer, about 16 minutes. So, last time we did the karmic analysis, and we discovered that the karma of this chart is about the blinding impact of thinking that you know everything about the world, being very invested in catering to what people expect of you as a society, being theatrical in the dark Leo sense of letting your creativity be run by what people want out of it, instead of the North Node for this soul, the North Star for this soul is to be authentic, to be real, to be very individualized in what you want to express, what you want to do, how you want to define yourself in relation to what others expect of you, building up a inner resiliency to not be concerned about what people think about what you do, and collecting lots of unique experiences and ideas and perceptions to just shatter that old karmic hold of certainty and being righteous and about how you see the world, how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you need to protect what that old Mars energy, protecting things that are just founded on thin air, things that you think are real, but they're just ideas. So that's that karma. And then we had the Primal Triad, which is about the protecting. It's kind of that rehearsal with the sun being the ruler of the South Node and the sun now. So that evolutionary development of, the North Node being real to yourself, being individualized and authentic, collecting new ideas. And then with the sun, those layers of protecting the self, protecting vulnerability and sensitivity, being willing to go deep, willing to go really deep about mortality, about the impacts of your karma upon the eternal pathway of your soul, and how that could have deeply impacted you. And then with the Venus, it's so powerful to be open to help, be open to the attractiveness and the serenity of being willing to let others help you. And I want to talk about the Pluto for a second. The Pluto is kind of like this reflection of the South Node in this chart, being a kind of this karmic wound from Sagittarius energy in the second house. So it's instantly this sense of a woundedness and a sense of like, how are you going to heal this? How are you going to be significant in the long term destiny of your soul? How can you leave an impact that makes a difference? And so, that is healing that karmic ninth house idea of the impact of compelling belief and being righteous and defending what you think is true at the expense of others. The Pluto is in the second house, so it's the self-worth, it's the sense of having what it takes. It's the sense of resources, having a fixed earth ground to stand on, a sense of well-being, and So that karma is very tied into the Plutonian, the wounds to heal the sense of not having what it takes, the sense of that Sagittarian ideal of the world that was unhealthy kind of just dissolving and falling away like sand in your fingers. Like, what's left after that? That's a big wound to heal, a sense of self-worth that has to be healed and regenerated. And it's important to see that is trine to the moon, that Pluto being trine to the moon. So as we were talking about earlier, the moon with that desire to nurture, to cultivate happiness and well-being, colored through the motivating animation and agenda of Aries, that inner protector, kind of that reflection of where the Mars is on the midheaven, but just made more gentle, more nurturing, less rigid and righteous, and more nurturing. And so being able to heal that karmic Sagittarian wound of self-worth, not having what it takes, it's goes back into 6th house, being able to have a service, a way to be competent and nurturing and be of service to others in a lunar, Aryan, conscious Aryan way. And then that ties back into being able to heal the Saturn in this chart, that first linkage in that long chain of Saturn self-discipline and growth. In the public eye, the soul wants to be able to heal that old righteousness, that old unhealthy knowing and certainty, and it wants to be a positive force of nurturance and competency and service to others, instead of that old energy of attacking and defending and shaming others for thinking that things are not the way that you wanted them to be, in that old outdated worldview. And so going back from Saturn to the moon, then back to the 2nd house with the Pluto, Jupiter is in Capricorn in the 2nd house, in opposition, in a loose opposition by about 7 degrees to the Venus that's conjunct the Sun. And so that's a big part of that, is the Jupiter sense of not doubting yourself, that sense of expansiveness and being able to claim that just royal birthright of overcoming blockages and not selling yourself short. So it's interesting that Pluto, that karmic challenge, and Jupiter, the king of the gods, is in the 2nd house. 2nd house is really important here, about feeling that you have what it takes, being able to have a solid foundation to stand on. That's the Jupiter idea here of being expansive in your sense of a foundation to build your evolution upon. Something else important here, that's important watery energy that kind of creates a trine between the ascendant, the sun, and the 4th house. Not exact, but just whole sign parallels here. With Aquarius and Uranus and Pisces in the 4th house. So with that, there's this additional energy of kind of this, that's the Aquarian planet that's ruled by Aquarius. Uranus rules Aquarius. And this revolutionary idea of deep spirituality, and that Neptune right there at the nadir. It's really interesting that the Uranus is right nearby in the 4th house in Pisces. So that deep dive, developing that Neptune in the evolutionary North Node aspect of healing the karma, developing your mystical sense of who you are, your unique spiritual path, tied up into the 4th house with Pisces. So having a kind of deep down in the astrological midnight, the 4th house, the collective unconscious, this kind of very mystically grounding Uranian, so a little bit of a revolutionary sense of home, this protective, nurturing place, kind of like this Piscean ocean, this womb energy of being willing to be just, with what we were talking about earlier, being surprised and being able to dwell in the mystery of having this radically protecting, nurturing, mystically nurturing home would be really powerful for this soul to develop the Uranus. And also into that North Node in Aquarius, the revolutionary impact of individualization, being willing to be in contrast to the collective expectations, being willing to dive into that deep ocean, into that Neptunian and that Piscean energy of, who am I outside of the societal expectations, who I've been in past lives? Who am I now? Who do I want to be? What is my soul trying to accomplish through this deep dive into the astrological midnight and creating a radically nurturing and mystically developing home? What a beautiful chart this is. And so I believe we've talked about just about all of the planets now. It's worth mentioning that Cryon is conjunct the North Node in opposition to the South Node. I haven't spent enough time diving into Cryon, but I definitely know it's important. It's definitely a noteworthy impact, and it's on my list of things to explore. And so just a final summary of this chart is undoing karmic past of thinking you know what's real, of letting others define you in a social setting, diving into that astrological midnight at the cusp of the 4th house, individuating into being open to the mystery and collecting new exciting experiences, building this home life where it's this revolutionary, just karmic medicine of being open to the mystical. Going back to the sun, the whole chart is with the sun. It's tying back into the past life energy of guarding sensitivity. In the nurturing higher sense of Cancer, nurturing sensitivity is important. It allows the inner empathic desire to be a positive force, a healing force to grow, which ties into the moon in this chart, being of service in a courageous, emotionally nurturing way to others, healing those blockages of the public image in the past life, healing the Saturn, healing being seen as what people need you to be and not who you want to be, and that Uranian North Node, that powerful sense of this is me, this is what I'm here to do, this is what I want to create, this is how I choose to be seen. And it all ties back to the moon, being willing to go deep, to be vulnerable to healing that deep karma, being open to that Venus of a openness to being supported in deep, intimate relationships with sexuality, and the impacts of karma and the eternal fate of your soul, which is all up to your own choice, of course. This chart has been really cool. I've learned a lot from this chart, and I hope that anyone that's listened to this chart reading series has gotten something out of this. Maybe I've stoked your interest in evolutionary astrology. And yeah, the credit for the system I've learned to read like this is Stephen Forrest's system, tied in with some of my own ideas about higher self embodiment, and the importance of evolution as embodying the higher self. Is the whole purpose, to realign the individualized consciousness with the spirit, with our higher selves. And yeah, so that has been this reading, and I've had a blast doing this. I just want to say thank you for anyone that's listened, and best of luck to all with your projects and your ideas and what you want to do. And yeah, thank you for listening. This has been Mike, and I will talk to you guys real soon. Goodbye.